Hello and welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to true friends and get your game goodness each and every Monday. My name is Dylan Blight. Joining me on the couch, Ashley Hobby.
Hey John, I'm excited to be here and, talking about video games, because there's so much to talk about.
That's what we do on the show.
We're really glad you're here, Dylan.
Yeah, me too. Glad to be here. Glad technology let me be here. Fucking piece of shit internet. I'll see you, Kira Marchant.
Dylan, how many, this is so you can't edit that out or edit it to be shorter. How many people do you think just looked at their phones to be like, what the fuck happened to my podcast?
Probably a lot, and I hope so, because that makes sense. I don't need to personally know if that happens. I just presume that's what happened.
It's just good knowing that it's likely to have happened.
It's good. It makes me feel good to know, to presume that that's exactly how that played out.
You've got that kind
like,
of
did my
control.
Phone just break? Like, did my headphone, am I having a heart attack? Like, what's going on? I smell toast. Like, what?
It's my whole life breaking down before my eyes.
Yeah, so, I can feel. Few things to talk about this week. Talk about the Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra thing. That got a trailer and a thing and whatever else that was happening out of the
Game Developers Conference.
Game Developer
GDC.
Awards. Fucking losing my mind, tell you what. Larian's not making any DLC for Baldur's Gate 3. A few other things we'll be talking about as well. Play a little bit of Princess Peach. But firstly, South Park Snow Day. Does anyone remember this game?
Yeah.
No.
It's a South Park game.
Mm.
That seems to be a different type of game every time I see it.
That is, I think, a very good description for this game. So play through South Park Snow Day. This
The whole
is
thing.
very weird the whole thing. It took about 4 or 5 hours to beat. Right?
Oh, really?
It's a game built around replaying. I mean, it's like South Park's trying to do a looter.
Okay, I'm looking at Steam. It's only it's $30, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not like a full price game or anything. It's a very odd sort of project. Remember when it was announced? It was like, oh, this is like it seemed like it was a arena, or at least it looked like it was arena based snow fighting game from South Park.
Like a old school like first person shooter, like esque.
And remember
from back in the 64 days.
We were like, oh, maybe it's a like free to play sort of thing. I think we at some stage I remember talking about. So it's actually you can play. So we'll put it this way. Firstly, the game is 100% set in the same South Park video game universe set up with the two other games. Which is also weird because this is not published by Ubisoft, which the other two were. So we had the fantasy one, and then we had the superhero one, and now we got this one. Where the game literally starts with Cartman celebrating how it's the town snowed over, and they can like play their fantasy game again, and they reference you as the new kid, and they're like, oh, we have to reset all the rules and everything because the last time you fucked all the rules, new kid, and we had to go back in time to reset everything, or like they mention all these events from how the new kid keeps fucking up their games that they keep going to play and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, so this is set in the same world. There you go. They're like, yeah, but this time we're like playing with different rules and we're doing whatever. We're playing the fantasy game again, but it's different. So this time you're running around. You make a little character at the start again, even though you're the same new kid, but you can make a different new kid. And you pick one of, I don't know, it's like 5 or 6 levels, and it's sort of that thing of you can pick each time you load into a level, you can pick easy, hard, normal, and you can load in either with 3 AI friends who will autoplay, or the game is playable in 4-player co-op. And the game is 100% designed to be played in co-op. You can join open lobbies, you can invite people, you can jump into other people's games, or you just play with bots. The bots are pretty bad. To be like, they'll fight, they'll do things, but I don't think they use any abilities.
Strategy.
Yeah, I don't think they have any abilities either. They you'll be like, please revive me. They'll be like, I'm gonna start half reviving you, and then I'm gonna fuck off. Like, how's that sound? How about like I half revive you and fuck off to the other side of this level? Cool, thanks, AI. So you have a choice. You can have like 2 weapons. You unlock more as you go along. It's like you start with a sword, and there's a sword, a shield, there's a wand, there's a like you got range, bow and arrow. Like there's ranged or close combat options, and then you pick from an assortment of like 2 abilities that you can use. So it's like put down a flag, one of them, and they like reset on like cooldown timers. It's like one of them heals everybody around you. There's like a farting ability that like poisons everyone around you and sends you flying into the sky. There's like a shield one that can like deflect projectiles, fire you and stuff. So you unlock more as the game progresses along. But then also as you play through the level, and this stuff resets every time you start a new level. But as you play through a level, because everything has to be cards now. You'll pick a card that's randomly dealt out, and it'll be like, this card will increase this ability, like your wand spell more, or make your healing do more, or make your normal attack do more, etc., etc., etc. And you can re-roll those using in-game currency and stuff like that. So it's like by the time you end a level, and each level takes probably like 45 minutes to an hour depending on what difficulty you're playing on, I guess. But by the time you end the level, you've got like all these cards, and like you've got a more powerful abilities than you entered level with. And then there's a boss fight, of course. It's fine. I thought it was perfectly, for the time I played it and considering the price of it, it's definitely not shooting for the same caliber of either storytelling or gameplay mechanics, or even the feeling of wandering around South Park that the other 2 games went for. This one, the hub area between each level is locked off to pretty much just the backyard of like Cartman's house, and I think the neighboring house or something like that, where all the kids have set up their little play, like pretend village thing, and you can interact with people there. You can buy costumes using currency. You can change your loadout, whatever, and then you just go into the level. And the levels are like very linear. There's like maybe some chests to find, a couple secrets, references to things, what have you, but they just play out the same. I did discover that depending on what difficulty you play on, the level will change. So like the actual objective and the direction you head in the level. So that was at least nice. So although you could play for every level on normal, you replay it on easy or replay it on hard, you're going to get a different experience that time. I could see this being very fun with a group of friends. Like it's pretty basic, but if you like South Park and you like this type of game, like a third-person action adventure sort of game with some light RPG elements, for the price of entry, I would say, yeah, like I could see it like possibly being fun for some people.
Just from the not having played it, but the outsider point of view, this game seems more akin to the South Park games that were brought out like Nintendo 64 era.
Yep.
Like they were just random games just to kind of get the South Park IP out there and get it on. It doesn't seem like it is put as much love and attention as, say, the Stick of Truth, and I can't remember what the other one was called.
The Fractured but Whole.
Oh, Fractured but Whole. That's right. Haha. Like didn't put in, like those 2 felt like they were games because they wanted to be games, and it just happened that they had to be South Park, and they used the South Park medium as like IP as its medium. But this game feels, I don't know, lackluster. It reminds me of like the games you used to see on like the original Xbox Arcade, where it's just like a random thing popped up. I think it's very, very strange.
Yeah, it's sort of. I remember it was weird when it was announced. It's sort of weird now. I haven't played it, but yeah, it's fine. Like it's perfectly. It's a video game that's come out and people play it, and no one's going to remember it pretty quickly afterwards. It's not going to have anywhere near the same level of.
It's not going to have any impact.
Yeah, like the other ones did. Like there was the writing was considered like quite good, and the world and
story,
like, especially the second one, like the turn-based structure of that gameplay was quite good and everything. Like this game is very much like, hey, it's a South Park game, like, and I mean that in the like, it's a game in which sets in South Park.
It's pretty using that IP. That's it.
It's using that IP. That's it.
So it's got none of the humor or the story, or
Not really. Like the story's pretty bare bones. There's like a cutscene before and after every level, and like it's just it's like literally, hey, there's a snowstorm coming, and then they're trying to work out who's causing this infinite snowstorm, and then they're blaming it on each other, and then like pretty much the first few levels are all like versus one of the other kids. Like you're teaming up with Cartman from the start, so then it's like you're trying to find out if Stan did it or Kyle or.
I don't understand how Cartman's always like your buddy in these games. Like,
I don't know, he just
like
is apparently
detestable of the characters.
Yep.
Because it's fun to side with the antagonist at first, and then he betrays you. I mean, is that what happens? Does he betray you at some point?
Spoilers. He always betrays you, and then it always ends up being Kenny at the end.
It's not Kenny at the end, but there is a twist.
Does Kenny die?
No.
Those bastards, they didn't kill Kenny.
Yeah, that's true. They did not take Kenny. Let's run for a quick little news story here and then move on to another bigger one. So, Press Outright's hot off the heels of the winners from the Independent Games Festival Awards this year's list of winners from the Game Developers Choice Awards has been announced with the best game, blah, 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 blah. So this was held at GDC. I was like, let's just get to reading over it. I was about to reveal the big one. I don't want to read it out yet. So best audio went to Hi-Fi Rush. Best debut game went to Venba, which I thought was a cool shout out. Best design, Baldur's Gate 3. Innovation Award went to Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Best narrative went to Alan Wake 2. Social impact went to Venba. Best technology went to Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Visual art went to Alan Wake 2. And Game of the Year went to Baldur's Gate 3.
What a shocker.
Shocking. Other than Venba, which I thought that was cool. This is obviously a, considering it's from the GDC, a very like peer-to-peer sort of voted sort of awards and everything. Nothing really stood out other than Venba to anyone, I assume.
I mean, just the nominees for Game of the Year, I think, is very interesting for this awards. The nominees being Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but Cocoon, Dave the Diver, and Dredge. You know? Very different to some other awards.
Nobody knows if they have. Do they have a policy where they try and choose 3? Like they try and choose a certain amount of like you would say AAA.
I don't think so.
They don't have anything like that.
Just Game of the Year. Yeah.
Okay.
Just whatever they reckon Game of the Year.
That's what they thought were the best.
It's a pretty good list of nominees, if you ask me. So
yeah, it's just not the big name games filling out the extra 3 spots. No Resident Evil 4.
Thank God, am I right, Cam?
Yeah, thank God.
I don't think you heard.
I did not.
He's just pretending.
My headphones were fucking around.
I said there was no Resident Evil 4.
Don't tell him.
Oh no, that is also very much thank God, right? Because we lose I'm over losing my shit. People, that was so last year. We put that to rest.
Just wait till Resident Evil 5 comes around.
All right. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. Press start, Kieran writes, it's been a little while since we heard anything about the upcoming AAA Marvel title from Amy Henning-led Skydance New Media, but today's State of Unreal 2024 GDC presentation happened to bring with it not just a fresh glimpse of the game, but a full story trailer complete with the game's actual title, which is, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. The game, which is targeting a 2025 release, will star 4 lead heroes, including Black Panther, played by Carrie Payton, Captain America, played by Drew Moreline, Gnarly, played by Megalyn Ichikawaoki, and Gabriel Jones, played by Mikey Richardson. Despite having 4 leads, it's been confirmed in the past that this not be a co-op game. Ash, what did you make of the trailer and everything for?
It's a really good showcase of Unreal Engine 5. It's very, very pretty. And it looks like it's going to be a fantastic animated Marvel show. I mean, obviously it's a story trailer. There isn't any gameplay or anything, but it looks very pretty. It's an interesting setup where, at first they're not trusting of each other. And there are kind of hints to certain things, like Captain America mentions there's 2 super soldiers running around 3 if he includes himself. So if he thinks the cat person is Super Soldier, who's the other Super Soldier?
Oh,
It's probably Red Skull. It's Red Skull. It's Rise of Hydra. It makes sense.
Yeah,
1943.
100%. Yeah.
So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Do you know why? Do you know why Black Panther's actually been sent there?
No.
Why?
No, I've got my prediction is their other choices couldn't go because of the snow and the cold. And you know what? Black Panther, he never freezes.
I mean, there was a setup for that joke in this trailer, and they just worded it different.
100%. Yeah, no, 100%. I watched it and I went, yeah, I can't wait to talk about this on the podcast. It's gonna be great. I didn't actually. I was like, I got a bit. Excellent.
You know, it's bad when you have to like do a full setup to your own bit.
Just you know what? I'm completely fine. I'm completely fine with that, you know. Sometimes you gotta alley oop yourself, you know. You gotta throw your ball up there and run around and dunk it. And that's what we just had, everybody.
What do you think of it? Do you keen for this or?
I'm interested. I'm interested to see how they make Captain America gameplay fun, because a lot of the time I think Captain America as a character in video games is generally not the funnest, or he's generally kind of very one-dimensional.
He's great in Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Throwing
that shit around.
Yeah,
bouncing
that's
off.
all he's got.
Or Midnight Suns, yeah.
But that's all he got, right? He's just throwing a shield around, and I don't know. I feel like it'll be interesting to see how they balance the gameplay between the 4 characters. I'm going to call it now, one of those 4 characters in the very least is going to be very stealth-based and very heavily stealth-based gameplay.
Black Panther.
Or the Wakanda.
Yeah, or yeah, I think it's definitely going to be in that like kind of ballpark. I'm looking forward to seeing more. Well, I'm sure as the year goes by, I would definitely expect us to see maybe like a very big trailer at the Game Awards. At the end of the year, I think is where this game will next appear, or maybe something very small during Summer Games Fest. But other than that, yeah, I think we got some time. I'm just interested to see where it plays out in the 2025 calendar as well.
I thought the trailer was fine. It was like, this is a Marvel game. Hey, here's some Captain America. Here's some Black Panther. Here's a bunch of like 10-second sequences of them like punching a dude, and camera swings around and fade out to the next shot. You know, it's fine. I watched the full on stage presentation thing. Interesting. Again, it's hard not to watch. Like in a world where obviously so many studios are shutting down and stuff, and I keep saying like, maybe we're spending too much time. There's like the presentation is literally them being like, man, now like let's pan into the, and remember this is all in engine, guys. This is all in engine. Let's pan down to these fucking rocks. Look how good these rocks. You know, like, it's like,
is that the best use of resources?
Yeah. Now let's go over here. Now you see this trash. This trash would look this good. See this fucking burning fucking Nazi camp signpost. We wanted to make the game as realistic as fuck. So anyway, look at this smoke. Look at this tumultuous smoke. Anyway, yeah. So we spent $200 million in this game. Cool. You know?
Yeah, this game is very much a representation of budgets for games continuing to like get fattened and just be. Yeah.
Well, wasn't Unreal Engine meant to help like with the generation of those kind of things?
I mean,
so
maybe. I don't know. I don't like. It could be true. Maybe the engine helps cut down time stuff, but fucking hell.
Unreal Engine 5 is still very new. So this studio
this is part of its Unreal Engine 5.4 update, which was revealed at GDC.
Yeah, so I think
you're already at 0.4.
But I think with this game being in development, these teams had to work on Unreal Engine 5 from its kind of earliest.
Apparently they got early access to the 5.4 because they're using some of the technology in this game or something, which is why it's a partnership with Unreal for this on-stage presentation to show the trailer, but also like spend all this time going over the tech in it to a game developer audience. But it was one of those things. And I know the presentation is not really, it is, you know, it's GDC, right? But, you know, it's just hard not to watch it and go, okay, like it looks good. I won't put it past you. It looks good. But if I was to pick an interesting topic for GDC in the year 2024, it would be how to.
Here's how we made this for super cheap.
You know?
Here's how we did it effectively and quickly. Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Here's how we financially plan to keep our studio alive for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Talking about financial support, Screen Australia has announced 1.6 million of funding for 27 Aussie games and creators. That's a lot. So again, everything's from Press Start today. Screen Australia has revealed a list of 27 local game projects sharing in a huge 1.6 million AUD of funding through both the game's production fund and the Emerging Game Makers Fund, including the likes of already popular Which Way Up Galaxy games, the hugely exciting Mystiques Haunted Antiques, and horrifying Winnie's Hole. Minister for Arts Tony Burke said in a press release, quote, Australia has a proud history of game developing going right back to The Hobbit. What this does is support the future of Australian game development, making sure we don't miss out on the next Unpacking or Untitled Goose Game. Many of these games might not be set in Australia or even on this planet, but they do show the best of Australian creativity and storytelling. End the quotes. So I'll run through them, stop on a couple that I know about. Some I don't know enough to talk about, but all the trailers are interesting, and I hope to find out more in the future at places like PAX. Maybe I don't know,
or at the Game Expo, which is currently took place this weekend, and looked like it was another success. Even though, as someone pointed out, it is dumb to hold the Game Expo at the same time as several other major Melbourne events happening at the same time.
It was, as somebody who went to Melbourne yesterday to go and watch the footy, I was blown away by the amount of shit going on in Melbourne. Like there was, football just in general. Australian Grand Prix is on in Melbourne. The Game Expo is on in Melbourne. The Melbourne International Flower Show is on at the moment.
That's the killer.
That is,
yeah. That's where that's where everybody using public transport is. Yeah.
Yeah, like it could be there. Like it's. I think there's so much in this one weekend. There's also a bunch of smaller events going on. Like I think it's a very weird. And the crazy thing is, right? The Game Expo had to have known where it was situated because, like, the Australian Grand Prix.
Maybe not. Maybe they had to log it in. Maybe they had to log it in pretty much straight after the last one.
No,
I
don't know.
I'm pretty sure the F1 calendar is released pretty early. You know.
Yeah, like it's
you know
right around the same time every year. It's a weird weekend to have the Game Expo on.
It looked good to me. Better than last year, from what I've seen. Some of the stuff
I don't think that sounds like
you would. I mean, that's what you'd hope for.
That's what I hope for. Obviously, it was the second year. I would have been there in another world, but I would have gone again. But,
timing.
All right, run through these games. Ascending Inferno coming from.
Wait, so these first ones are getting the grants from the Game Production Fund, which provides grants of up to $100,000 towards supporting the development of original Australian independent games that have a budget of up to $500,000 at the time of applying. So the government is giving like 1/5 of the budget.
Yeah, which is still a lot.
Which is a fair chunk of change. You know?
Better than nothing.
So Ascending Inferno coming from ACT. Shall I read they're long descriptions, hey? No, hold on. They're not. A 2.5D precision platformer that blends voxel and pixel art together to reimagine Dante's Inferno. Players follow the journey of recently deceased Danny and her sibling Vincent, who is oddly shaped like a soccer ball. Danny must kick and header and juggle Vincent to ascend out of Inferno. Karen's face.
Sorry, can I just say the wording of who is oddly shaped like a soccer ball?
Well, it is odd to be shaped like a soccer ball.
It is, but like not to like even explain it. Just be like, yeah, it's a thing. Not even to be like they've magically been turned into a soccer ball.
No, they're just oddly shaped like a soccer.
They're just like that. That's just who they are.
That's what happens that's what happened in fucking Canberra. You don't know what they're smoking up there. You know?
I'm pretty sure he's adopted. It's not a blood relative.
That would make sense, actually.
Even then, like, even if you're adopted, who do you walk in? Like, this is not like fucking Stuart Little adopting
Who are you going to
call?
Ghostbusters, in this case.
Fuck me, right?
Anvil Heart, South Australia. In this story-driven shop management game, a vagrant's dream of a better life is suddenly realized when they find themselves stumbling into a blacksmith's apprenticeship. As if from nowhere, they suddenly have everything they were missing: a warm home, friends, and a mentor. But they soon discover this miracle is founded on a monstrous secret. The house fire, which triggered it all, was masterminded by madmen who made this life for the vagrant after peering into their dreams. What a fucking setup! All right.
Yeah, the image of the madman with like in black and white. That's nightmare inducing.
Yeah, and then you click on the game, you're like, this doesn't look that scary, but anyway. Finch and Archie, coming from WA, a co-op murder mystery where players become one half of a crime-fighting duo: Jack Finch, the detective, or Archie, the police dog. Using skills to find evidence, interrogate suspects, and catch the culprit in a gritty noir 1930s setting.
Yes, please.
Yeah, yes, it sounds good.
Yes,
I want to play as
great.
Archie, the
Sounds
police
very
dog.
Yeah, I mean, why are they even given the other option?
You'll make the right choice and pick the puppy or the dog, or you will not. Kadom Hyper Auto Battlers, coming from South Australia. In this auto battle deck builder roguelike game, players can collect and battle over 180 unique creatures called Kadom. They can level up,
Katamon.
evolve, and Katamon. There we go. And assemble their Katamon into an ultimate team, creating synergies to beat big bosses and discover secrets. I've played the little bit of this.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah, it was. I played the demo. I was on one of the Steam things recently.
Steam's, yeah.
It's quite fun. Has very cool art style. Lots of unique creature designs, everything. So, Light Haze World, coming from Tassie, a story-driven puzzle game where players adopt the role of an anxious Nim. Nim is on a mission to retrieve food for his pet dog Chewy at their local shopping center. Light Haze World. Overwhelmed by the crowd, Nim passes out, and after regaining consciousness, finds himself in a new mental realm crafted by his own mind to cope with the overwhelming reality, requiring players to complete puzzles and navigate the surreal mole to obtain the dog food. What? What are we smoking down here?
I think what they're smoking is the important question that's on everybody's lips right now, Dylan. Are you part of the 150,000 members of the Tasmanian Devils AFL club?
I just certainly am not. No.
Shit.
Sorry.
He hasn't got a spare $10.
He doesn't have the $10, guys. He can't even support something that's going to be so beneficial for his beloved home.
I'm sure you'll find this hard to believe. I do not give a fuck. And I would have preferred to have used every dollar involved in this project to something else. Shock horror.
But the funding from that project will probably create more funding for the state as a whole.
Oh,
shut up. You sound like all my politicians I don't vote for a little bit. This is a cool concept. The game sounds fucking weird, though, to be honest. That's a fucking mouthful. I feel like we need a rewind of that synopsis. It's fucking wild.
I mean, it was fine until they started saying you can get dog food. Oh, I guess you got this for your pet dog.
You go to the shop, you know. You got a dog. Memento, Queensland. A room decorator game that invites players to decorate their space and choose meaningful objects that influence their life and their experience. With branching narratives, Memento will be a warm ode to challenge of following dreams down the winding road of life.
Listen,
cool.
if there's one thing that Queensland's game development teams know how to do, it's to move things around a room.
That's a good joke. I like that. Play that. Good bit. There's even stuffed toys in this that look like they're from unpacking. Anyway. Mystiques Haunted Antiques, New South Wales. A haunted exploration game about 4 horrible women. Jem, Aspen, Winnie, and Barb, who save a failing antique store by adopting a new business strategy, developing psychic powers. I'm in for this.
Yeah, I've seen people talk about this, and like I don't know, they saw behind closed doors demo or sneak peek, and they were very positive. So, yeah, sounds good.
Okay, need no more. My arms are longer now from Victoria. A comedic stealth narrative game where players play as a long-armed criminal mastermind. They'll avoid security systems, decipher blueprints, and seduce lonely guards. Whatever it takes to pull off the perfect heist.
Yes. This
That
is this
seems to end
year's.
very abruptly, but I'm about it.
This is the new Untitled Goose Game.
I mean, I gotta be completely honest. If there was a long arm that just like reached around in a shop, I don't know how you don't notice it. But anyway, yeah. Like you watch the trailer, and it's just this fucking massive arm like creeping under chairs and stuff. I'm pretty sure someone would notice, but that's fine. That's fine.
You're wearing a sock puppet.
Whatever. I'm down. Looks cool. What are they smoking in there? I don't know. Squidge from Queensland, a story-driven exploration game following Squidge, a captured alien who crash landed on Earth, and whose ultimate goal is to return home, rescuing his friends, finding the missing pieces of his ship, and destroying the secret government laboratory on the way.
You also missed one.
Did I? What did I miss? Oh, I did.
The one above it. Yeah.
Hold on. No trailer for that one either. Rat Trap from Victoria. Rat Trap is a 2D hand-drawn Metroidvania adventure platformer where players adopt the character of a lab rat trying to escape captivity. On the route to escape, players must fuse together a mobile mech, explore a sprawling map, complete dastardly puzzles, and obtain the necessary power-ups to take on the captors and hope to escape the Rat Trap. I'm down for that. It's a Rat Trap Metroidvania.
With mechs.
With mechs. And that always makes everything better. So
it does.
Which Way Up? Galaxy Games from New South Wales. The ultimate gravity-defying party game in space where up to 4 players complete a unique bite-sized events. Players can eject friends into space as they race across gravity fields, collect comets by guiding and shooting them into their home base, leap across players to escape a black hole, and capture and hold zodiacal constellations. Played this at PAX last year.
Yes. I believe there's been previews at a lot of places recently.
There have been previews. If we were better, we would have definitely wrote about it by now. Because and there was even an email the other day that was like, "Hey guys, I'm going to be fully honest." It was like, "Hey guys, anyway, I hope you've had a chance to play the game." Doubt they're listening, but if you are, I'm sorry.
Yep,
I want to, but no.
Yeah, but it was a good time at PAX. Like a little, I don't know. It's a co-op. No, like a party game, I guess. Involving a bunch of gravity.
Yeah. You click one button, jump between players. It was fun. Winnie's Hole from Victoria. In this dark comedy roguelike strategy game, players join Winnie the Pooh on a new adventure from within, playing as a virus within his body to specialize the host, grow mutations, and refine Winnie's form to adapt for survival. Yes. Can't wait.
Yeah. I remember this. Obviously, this made some people upset when it was announced.
Similar to the movie.
I'm more okay with this than the movie, you know. At least they're doing something original, you know.
Yeah, virus inside Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle game.
You know? It's a puzzle game, you know.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's like, oh, it's Winnie the Pooh. He's got no pants. He murders people. Oh.
And then the next list is the Emerging Game Makers Fund provides grants of up to $30,000 to support the development of original new projects from Australian independent game creators. It can fund the creation of a prototype or the completion of a micro-scale game. I'm not going to read for all these because there's a few, and there's a lot stuff, but there's a lot here. But just to quickly run through the titles: Apocryphy of City X from Queensland, Bones from WA, Cato's Post Office from Queensland, Clown Baby from Victoria, Crimson Cutlass from South Australia, Deficit, the ADHD RPG from Vic, Gale from the Mantle from WA, Key Fairy from Queensland, King Title from Vic, Planet B from Vic, River Scene Zion from Vic, Roots from ACT, Sputzweiser from Vic, Tea Please from New South Wales, and Tomorrow's Past from Vic. I mean, the moral of this story is there's a lot of games that are made in Victoria. I feel like it's the
makes sense.
takeaway from that.
Yep.
Larian won't be making any Baldur's Gate 3 expansions or sequels. Much Preston. Larian Studio CEO Sven Vinky has confirmed during a panel on Baldur's Gate 3 at GDC 2024, the team has no plans to work on expansion content for Baldur's Gate 3 and likewise isn't planning on making Baldur's Gate 4. Quote, we're not going to make new expansions, which everyone is expecting us to do. We're not going to make Baldur's Gate 4. We're going to move on. The statement was seemingly a necessary one, with Vinky saying that Larian has been, quote-unquote, bombarded with questions about the future of the game since Baldur's Gate 3 launched to huge critical acclaim and success. And a somewhat odd analogy, the CEO apparently compared the decision to saying farewell to a dog, even naming the hypothetical dog Gustav and adopting a new one, which, yep, sure is a way of putting it. Karen, how do you feel about there being no Baldur's Gate 4, no expansions, no nothing?
I think it makes sense from Larian, and I think it's more power to Larian. One thing he probably didn't mention in that article, but I've read, is that Larian actually started working on the DLC. They started working on the DLC for Baldur's Gate 3 and then put pens down and went, you know what? No, we're not doing this. And this is Larian as a studio backing themselves, not putting up with things that they don't like from Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, because in case you missed it, I think we've talked about this previously, but the entire team that worked with Larian Studios from Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro was fired, was made redundant, and that entire team got shut down, which is fucking insane when you think about, you know, what a critically acclaimed success and what a year success that, you know, a generational success that Baldur's Gate 3 is, and how we look upon it like it is, you know, it is something that is very special and very true in its nature. Larian also understands, you know what? People now know Larian Studios. We're now a respected game studio. We've earned that respect from people. We can now go make our own thing. And it doesn't need to be connected to D&D because people know what kind of games we make. They know the extent of the games we make and our storytelling. Let's go do it with our own thing now. You know, I don't know if they go make a completely new IP or if they return to...
Well, in this article from IGN, Vinky says the next game will not be Divinity Original Sin 3 and that it will be different than what you think it is, but will still be familiar. Elsewhere, Vinky said that the new project will dwarf the scope of Baldur's Gate 3, which would be quite impressive given the scope of that game.
So, you know, people keep in mind, we're probably not going to hear anything from Larian for at least, you know, it's going to be closer to, I would say, 2028, 29, 2030. And even
it's going to be a Grand Theft Auto 6 situation.
Yeah, and it could
It'll
also
be a decade before.
Yeah, and it could also be a case of we're probably going to get an early access again for it. Because I think they saw the benefits of doing it. Yeah, I think the benefits that they did of Baldur's Gate 3's early access, they'll do it again. So it's going to be a while since we get to experience Larian again, it's sad that there's no more happening. And I think for fans of Baldur's Gate 3, it should be sad that we're not going to be returning to that. From Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, they fucked up. They done goofed. They've screwed up because I don't think they're ever gonna. And I know. Sure, they got the win with Baldur's Gate 3. They have Baldur's Gate 4 to make. I don't think, no matter what studio they get, I don't think anybody's going to make Baldur's Gate 4 anything close to what Baldur's Gate 3 was and is.
Let's split that sentence. Baldur's Gate 4 is 100% going to get made.
Yes.
It's not going to be anywhere near close to Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes, correct. That is. So they will come out and they will back themselves and they'll think, yeah, there will be somebody with a bit of an ego and be like, no, the thing that made Baldur's Gate 3 great was its IP and the setting and the what Wizards of the Coast brought to it. And when it comes to the action, which is true, like in some ways, like the IP, like I love the setting of the Forgotten Realms and I love the characters within it, but I think in the execution is going to fall flat on its face, and you feel sorry for whoever is going to Baldur's Gate 4.
I don't know anything about game development, but I mean the blueprint is there. I mean, you can just try. I don't think
just
if they were to make a
code, man, copy paste the code.
Well,
makes them you out. How hard is that?
I imagine any team that would attempt to do a Baldur's Gate 4 would try and replicate almost dot for dot the system that's there. So then it relies entirely on story, which
owns the intellectual property of like the coding and like the everything of Baldur's Gate 3.
No, but I not necessarily the coding, but the implementation of D&D
Yes.
into a game. You try and be as close to what they did in Baldur's Gate 3 as you possibly could, which is no easy task. You know, and I'm sure there's a bunch of back-end stuff that goes completely unnoticed for every single player. You know, that would be hard to replicate and that kind of stuff. And then so much of it is creating the world and story, which Larian did fantastically in their game. That will be hard to... And the quest lines and all the different layers of stuff, that would be difficult to, you know, improve upon, you know, because they told such a large story with so many fantastic characters and stuff like that. So, yeah. Almost impossible task. From my understanding, Larian wants to do their own thing, and from my understanding, they felt somewhat restrained by D&D, especially once you get to like level 12 or whatever. In D&D, you become quite overpowered, so it kind of breaks the game a little bit, I guess. So yeah, I'm sure they will take a lot of the stuff they've done here and implement it in whatever their next game is, which will be fun. But then also, you know, be able to do things they couldn't do in Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, I'm keen whenever it is.
I'll put it this way: users are going to 100% play it, and I don't think that's a wrong thing. And I also don't feel like it's wrong to necessarily get excited about a Baldur's Gate 4. I think it's a very high bar to live up to, and I highly doubt anyone will, just because
I would hate to be the team that set the.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, there are cases where it's like, you know, like let's say Deck 9 doing the Life is Strange, the first Life is Strange game after Don't Nod, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, nah, no chance, it's not going to be any good. And Beyond the Storm was very good. You know, like I know they're very different games, but like just for a caliber
thing is, right, I think we have already said that the development and the creation of Baldur's Gate 3 is one of a kind in the current gaming landscape.
Yeah, it's never going to be anywhere near as good, but I don't think it necessarily means a Baldur's Gate 4 by the right person could be bad.
It's not so much that it's going to be bad, but it's just going to be forever held up against that standard.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I
mean, an 8 out of 10 game is still pretty good.
Yeah,
even if it's compared to a 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people won't even realize. The thing is, anyone listening to this, and you know, like they know, like you know who Larian is, but a lot of people, I'm sure, who played that game and really liked it, they're gonna have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna say Baldur's Gate 4. They're gonna be like, cool.
Just to be, where's the Starian?
Yeah. That's it. So
how quickly can I fuck these characters? That's all they want.
Polygon writes, Dragon's Dogma 2 surprise microtransactions are making people angry, but should they? Capcom's fancy role-playing game Dragon's Dogma 2 has launched at last critical acclaim, but reactions from some players are much harsher. At the center of this complaint is a suite of 21 downloadable items Capcom released without warning alongside Dragon's Dogma 2 across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Most of them are single in-use in-game items, naming features like new fast travel locations, the ability to change characters' appearance, and combat revive. On Steam, where Dragon's Dogma 2 was much hyped and wishlist title, user reviews sit at mostly negative at time of writing. Alongside the microtransactions, critical players cite the game's poor performance on PC and the developer's use of the unpopular anti-cheat and anti-piracy software Denuvo. Capcom is often criticized for tagging a lot of microtransactions of just largely single-player games like Resident Evil 4 Remake and Monster Hunter Rise. If Dragon's Dogma 2 is drawing more ire than usual, it could be because of the way the items are on sale. Interactive Dragon Dogma 2's intentionally challenging and restrictive game design. I do not give a fuck this anymore. We lost the fight to years ago to developers, including shitty microtransaction stuff. And if it's just sitting here to the side, and from all accounts that I've seen on Twitter, most people go, I didn't even notice this was the thing. Like it's there, but it's not my face. Whatever, the game's great. It's still awesome. I think they're dumb as fuck, microtransactions. It's ridiculous if you pay for them. But from everything I've seen, they're not shoved in your face, and it's probably a thing where the developers made the game, and the Capcom's going around and going, just fucking insert this shit here, and then like, wait, we fucking put it out. It's not enough to ruin the game, from what I can understand.
So what I understand from what I've heard,
let's all clarify. None of us have played this game.
none of us have played this game. None of us really have any intentions to play this game. Obviously, it's a massive success. My understanding is all these items are resources that are included in the deluxe edition. They like in a lot of games, they'll just give you a bunch of extra resources to start off with if you buy the deluxe edition. So that's what all these are. It's just extra resources that you can buy that were included in the deluxe edition that you can just buy piecemeal.
Yep.
My understanding is you can only buy for most of these just one.
Yeah.
There is a maximum number of these you can buy at one.
Correct. Yes.
It just means if you, I guess if you start this game, you really love this game, and you wish you had bought the deluxe edition, you could go and do it. Like you could go and buy the items that you would have got from the deluxe edition.
Yes.
It's the same with like I guess Final Fantasy 16 buying the deluxe edition had a bunch of items and stuff you could get to immediately equip Clive with. Like it's it's not a like maybe I've missed this. Dragon's Dogma is like a single player experience, right? There's no multiplayer elements to it.
There's no multiplayer.
So the reason this is blown up is because some of these resources, one of them lets you do fast travel in the game, which is something that isn't common in the game. It's not a game that allows you to easily fast travel.
Yeah.
And then another thing, another one allows you to edit your character. And a lot of people are saying, oh, these are things that should not be behind a paywall. But
I don't think they are, though. Like
they're not behind a paywall. They're behind resources you need to earn in the game. You can buy one of the resource that you need to get to do what fast travel. You can spend 99 cents and you can fast travel one time ever. I don't know. I think I'm with you guys. Everybody's getting angry about nothing. It's just very stupid. And then there's a bunch of misinformation that's also being spread, I believe, around people being upset about cloud saves, and you can only have one save file, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
You do only have one save file. That's how the game's designed, because it doesn't want you to cheese anything. I don't know what the cloud thing is about. What's that?
No, I think it's you can only ever have one save file.
Yeah, that is
like
true,
you can never restart the game. Is what people
you can restart the game,
this.
but you just can't keep your old save file.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that seems weird, but that's their game choice. Whatever. Do you know? I'm sure it'd be super easy. You just copy your game file into like a different folder on your PC, and then you could move it across to the save file.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's because I was listening to Well Played podcast over there, and they
nice guys.
Nice guys. I'm sure you'd love to work there. They were talking about the game, and I think it was James, and he was saying like it's like one save file, because the game runs in real time to the point that, like, unlike a lot of RPGs, if you take a side quest that's like, hey, go over here and save this person, they're in a lot of trouble. And you know how, like, you could in normal RPGs, you could spend 100 hours doing something.
You would just not do that until
just come back and do it.
Until you're around that area.
Yeah, but this time it's like if someone comes up to you and they're like, oh my God, I need you to help my son right now. There's bandits there. If you don't go do it straight away, the bandits kill the person and you fail the quest. Like it runs in like...
So it's like real life? Crazy.
Yeah, it runs more like real life. So that's the one save file thing, I think, something to do with, the game design aspect of it. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really give two fucks about it because I only played the first one, had anything. But everything I've heard and read this week, everyone's like, it's definitely one of the highest rated games of the year so far, and a lot of the interesting elements of it, including that, has me possibly wanting to check it out. It probably would go onto my list of things I'd maybe at some point find time to sink, like say 20 hours into it and then never finish, but maybe get towards the end of the year and go, that was 20 of the best hours of anything I played this year. I don't know,
this feels like a game that I'll be like, man, I need to play that before I do my end of year list, and won't end up playing.
Yeah, it's going to fall into one of those categories. Either I'll regret it at the end of the year, I've played 20 hours and comfortably say I really, really like it and I wish I'd found more time for it, or magically I break an arm and have to spend a bunch of time at home and play this game with one finger, and I'm like, yeah, that was a good use.
Maybe you break a foot. Break a foot.
Break a foot, thank you.
So,
That was
not that people who break their feet or injure their legs can't go to work,
Yeah, go to work, you lazy fucks.
Maybe, you lose your voice or something for like several weeks. Oh, my other favorite story around Dragon's Dogma 2 is apparently the frame rate was not very good, at least initially. Yeah. And people were attributing that to so many NPCs being in the game.
Yeah.
So people were killing NPCs. Yeah, people were just going around killing NPCs in the game so the game would run better.
Yeah, it's good. It's a test. It's a test to gamers,
Incredible.
Morality choice. Will you kill people for better frame rates? Gamers, will you?
People, will you? Yes.
How important is 60 frames? Not that guy's life. Fucking gone. All right, just before we wrap up, I've played like 45 minutes, not much, not a heap, but I just thought I'd quickly say I played a little bit of Princess Peach Showtime. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. This isn't a negative to say this, but it's definitely more of a younger aimed audience game than I would even say. Like the difficulty, at least so far, based on what I played, is pretty low level. It's like Kirby level difficulty. 100% not saying it's a negative. I love the last two Kirby games that come out, and so far I'm really, really enjoying this. The story is literally like Peach heads to this like show at the start, and then some, I don't know, witch lady shows up or something, and then turns all the shows into, I don't know, magic levels, I guess. Yeah. So it's like you go in, you can do spin attacks with, you got little star power friend, and then you get power ups, and Peach turns into does anime's fuck intros when she like turns into
like full Sailor Moon transformation.
Like picks up and gets the sword thing, and it's like full black background, like pose and everything. It's like, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's very cute. It's a lot of fun. I'll have full thoughts next week, but I thought I'd say, yeah, if you were sitting on this and going like, is it like is this more Mario? Is this aimed at, like a quote unquote real gamer? Nah, man, it's aimed at kids. It's fun. Enjoy it.
Yeah, if you look at the review scores, I think most of them are like 7.58. So, yeah, most people not saying it's up to Mario level, but
that's fine.
Yeah,
it's
still fun.
First game,
It's Peach's first game. Only got ways up. Hopefully,
like 40 years or whatever. But
38,
something like that, probably. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Never too late to get your first game in a long-running franchise, I'd say.
There's still hope for you. Koopa Troop.
That's the only thing. Side note, I rewatched the Sonic movie last night. That's still fun.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
The first one?
Both of them?
The first one. No, I rewatched the first one last night.
Getting ready for the Knuckles show.
Hot take. Sonic movie better than Mario movie.
I don't think that's surprising, given anybody who read your review for.
No, actually, that's true. It's not a hot take for me. But I'm going to say, like, Sonic movie's way better than the Mario movie. I'm sorry. Like Mario game's better, Sonic movie better. That's the scale I'm currently on. Good stuff.
I don't. We didn't put it in the notes, but now that you brought up movies, how crazy is it that Margot Robbie's making a Sims movie?
Yes.
Look, I'd love to know.
Yeah,
it needs to be. I will be angry if it isn't subtitled.
It won't be subtitled.
There's
no way they would make that decision. But I'd love to see what the premises is. If
how many people die in a pool?
That's the thing, right? If somebody doesn't jump in a pool and or
urinate themselves, yeah,
and the ladder get removed randomly, then I'd be disappointed.
I just want to know how it's. I mean, honestly, in a world where they ban a Barbie movie successful, whatever. Yeah.
No. I mean, it's probably going to be Free Guy, where it's a bunch of Sims realize they're in the world of Sims, and then have to deal with that realization.
I actually hope the movie's about death coming to reclaim a Sim, and that Sim trying to escape and live.
Have you ever thought about dying?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about dying? Whee!
I got a new couch.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Let us know your favorite Sims game, either by tweeting at us or joining our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. Ash is thinking about it. If you would like to if you'd like to support the show and or the website explosionnetwork.com, you can do that by heading to explosionnetwork.com/support. That takes you to our Ko-fi page. You can buy us a coffee. That would be greatly appreciated. I think mine was they did a Hollywood expansion once, the first one. I don't know, like whatever that was called. That was a lot of fun. Obviously, I like the movie edition and stuff. You could like run I think you could run like a movie cinema or something in it. Like you could buy one or something. Yeah, that was fun. I never got hugely into Sims. My brother was though, so I just played the expansions whenever he got them for like his birthday and shit. So next week, same time, same couch. Goodbye.